This is ruining my health. I'm unhappy because I thought things would turn out differently. Most illnesses are caused by this distress: diabetes, hypertension, gastritis, and, unfortunately, eventually cancer. If a person does not help themselves, it's impossible for others to help them. Today, we will discuss energy. Energy is wonderful, but it can cause problems in situations where I have lost energy and feel that I lack strength. The main reason for energy loss is often the inability to control one's own mind. It has recently been discovered that a person has between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts in a single day, and only a few of them are productive and actionable. The rest is just noise. Often, an informational diet and detox can help reduce the emotional load. Do you need all the information you receive in a day? Nowadays, many people strive to get processed information to avoid wasting time, energy, and attention on unnecessary data. It is important to form your worldview and understanding of how the world works and what your place in it is. If you don't have a clear picture of the world, the information you receive can become useless clutter. For example, if you don't put a book on the right shelf, you won't be able to find it later. The same applies to facts from the internet. Without a clear understanding of how to use them, they become unnecessary. The Dunning-Kruger effect states that people with limited knowledge in a particular area often believe they understand it, which can lead to mistakes and potential harm to themselves and others. Sometimes, it is better not to know than to have a false understanding. There are two types of energy: physical and emotional. We understand that our physical condition depends on the body's ability to realize its potential. For example, if we poorly manage our sleep or have insufficient physical activity, we won't be able to effectively reduce excess cortisol. It's also important to know how to handle stress and exit stressful situations. There are many ways to achieve this. Anxiety is related to the reticular formation, a part of the brain responsible for analyzing the significance of external factors. You can think of it as an antenna that continuously scans the environment for potential threats or important events. When it detects a signal that might be dangerous or important, it sends this information to brain structures called the amygdala. The amygdala make decisions based on the information received. This leads to actions where cortisol and adrenaline are released, and excess glucose is used. If there is insufficient information, it can trigger a state of anxiety and fear, which manifests in the body as stress. If the stress lasts only for 5 minutes, it's not very dangerous. But if stress continues for a whole day, month, or year, it can lead to serious problems. Hans Selye, the creator of the stress theory, referred to this state as stress, which destroys the body. Most diseases arise from this distress. Elevated cortisol, glucose, and adrenaline, along with the redistribution of blood from internal organs to muscles, the brain, and sensory organs, lead to increased blood pressure and blood thickening. All of this can cause illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, irritable bowel syndrome, gastritis, prostatitis, and dysbiosis. Unfortunately, it can ultimately lead to cancer. Most of the diseases that shorten our lives are the result of distress, tension, and not knowing what to do in difficult situations. Without action and movement toward a goal, life can be shortened. People who pursue their goals and do something every day to achieve them generally have fewer health problems. There is also a second type of energy: psycho-emotional energy, the loss of which also significantly affects our state. We need to consider several factors that influence our psycho-emotional condition. The first factor is interacting with toxic people. Some people are impossible to help. There is a metaphor: if you are in a boat and someone next to you is drowning and trying to pull you down, it may lead to both of you ending up in the water. If a person does nothing to save themselves, they might drag you down with them. Such people are called toxic. They constantly complain and refuse to change their situation. Interacting with them can drain your energy and negatively affect your well-being. The second reason for psycho-emotional problems is unfinished tasks. Each unfinished task creates a small stress. If I do not complete unresolved tasks and do not plan to address them, a stress chain forms in my mind. This chain is a pathological reflex loop, a series of nerve cells that continuously signal that the task is still unresolved. This signal continues to drain our energy and cause anxiety until the task is completed. The third reason for psycho-emotional problems is the relationships we build with others. Imagine you have a stone in the pocket. When we climb toward the peaks, a process that can be called self-destruction begins. These stones accelerate the process of falling into illness and aging. It is especially hard when we hold grudges without taking action to resolve the situation. In such cases, the pathological reflex loop a chain of nerve cells, continues to drain our energy and cause anxiety. Another issue causing loss of psycho-emotional energy is lying. Lying to others and, especially, to oneself. Deceiving oneself is even worse than deceiving others. The most dreadful thing is to live not in accordance with one's true goals and desires, engaging in meaningless tasks. If I am mistaken in believing that I am following my own motives when in fact they are stereotypes imposed by society, I am deceiving myself. I do not know what I really want and allow the outside world to impose its goals and desires on me. When I do not pursue my own goals, my subconscious tries to stop me in various ways. Initially, this can manifest as problems with attention, memory, and interest. I forget, am late, and cannot concentrate. Then physical problems may arise, such as stumbling, breaking bones, or sprains. If I do not stop to satisfy my needs, it can lead to accelerating the process of apoptosis, self-destruction. The fifth factor affecting psycho-emotional state and energy loss is guilt and shame. Self-flagellation and constant worry about mistakes deplete psycho-emotional energy. Guilt is related to feelings towards others, while shame is a feeling towards oneself. These emotions often lead to neuroses and elevated cortisol levels.